What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I get to do the intro today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Top Bins. That was my Lil Wayne lighter flick. This is the show for all your Premier League and Serie A needs on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Network. I am Dom, and I am here today with KB. Kyle, how are you?
What up, fam? Happy to be here.
Yes,
Matt
sir.
is back in the grind this semester, had some work to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So you filled in on the main show, kept the main thing, and then I'm filling in here for Matt on Top Bins.
Yeah, we just got done like some really solid podcasting. Hello, honey.
Hi.
You want to say hi to the podcast?
Hi, podcast.
Yeah, we had a 2-hour show. You guys do an hour normally. I guess I need to stop waffling.
No, I enjoy a good riff because, back in the early stages, we were grinding doing the Wednesday nights and Saturday afternoons. We've shifted that now to Wednesday nights and Sunday nights so that the show comes out Monday, Thursday. And our boy up in Massachusetts, Pat Pitts, has slid into the Sunday nights, and we riff and enjoy it and have some fun and do some quirky stuff on there. And it's the same show but has a different vibe to it, and we've kind of made a Boston sports fan fall in love with Philadelphia, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny. So yeah, well, Toppins, we're gonna run this thing a little different today. All right.
He said, "Look at me, I'm the captain now."
Yeah, I am the captain. Listen, all right. Yeah, the main reason I don't think too many of our listeners are going to be surprised because they kind of expect this from me, but I did not watch a lot of soccer this weekend. I was able to catch the Milan game only because of some pretty questionable actions, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was able to catch that. I do want to talk a little bit about that game, but we're gonna do a little bit. All right, so we're gonna talk about Milan today. I'm going to mention the Premier League table. We'll get to that first. We'll just talk about some scores. I'll mention some things. Something going on in Germany. There's a certain player that I think deserves some flowers. I'm going to be giving a lot of players their flowers today, Kyle. There's a player in Germany that I think it needs their flowers given to them. And there's a player in Italy that happens to play for my team that deserves some flowers. And then the main focus of today's show, as you know, like I said, I'm a Milan fan. If you listen to the show, you know that. I know I got an Arsenal jersey on. I have an affinity for them. One of my best friends is an Arsenal fan, although my other best friend is a Liverpool fan, and he does the show with me normally. I couldn't get behind it. I was exposed to Arsenal first before that. So when it comes to the Premier League, I do like them, but my heart is always with AC Milan. Matt is obviously a fan of Liverpool, another one of the biggest teams, top three, one of the three biggest teams in Europe. And, I obviously respect that a lot. But Kyle here does not have a team. So we are going to try to find a team for Kyle, whether that is in Italy, whether that is in England or somewhere else. We are going to try to find a team that Kyle can get behind. And we are going to do updates throughout the season.
Felt it was only right, being that, I'm kind of behind the scenes in the shadows of the show every week. And it's like, hey, let's get me a little more invested in kind of understanding the ins and outs. Because, I get the bare bones basics of everything you guys are talking about every single week. But some of the stuff I'm like, I don't get it. So we're gonna add to the fuel. And will I be as invested and as fanatical as Dom is about Milan, as Matt is about Liverpool? Probably not. I got a lot of sports teams I got to root for. There's only so much in the puzzle that can be filled up, but there's some pieces in the shallow end that can get a little. Oh, I'll put them on my ESPN app and keep track. I'll give them a follow on social media and see what they're doing. And
Kyle, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, that may work for a season, but then you're going to get invested with their youth squad and who's going out on loan to what and who the transfer rumors are and the prospects coming in and this 15-year-old kid that was signed to the youth academy that is lighting it up. Like, it's only a matter of time. You're going to be invested.
Which then makes this a better show.
This is a lifelong decision that you are making, Kyle. At your big age, all right, we are going to find you a team. Now, my first question to you is, how do you want to get started with this? Do you want to start by picking a country? I think that's a good place to start, right? So what league do you think that you would be most attracted to watching and following a team from?
I feel like I'm a Premier League guy.
Okay. So you are a Premier League guy. So, I mean, it's very accessible. You got Peacock, you got NBC, you got USA. There's games on everywhere. You can always find it. Arguably the best and most competitive league in the world for different reasons. This is very fast-paced style of game, big on the physicality in the league, but also home to some of the most popular teams in the world, some of the most popular players in the world. So obviously the quality of the league is up there. If not the best in Europe or the world. So I think the best thing about soccer is that you can find a team that kind of fits your values as a fan, what you want from a team, and also kind of where you want to be. Like, Kyle, I don't see you as kind of like a bandwagon type of guy.
No, I love a good get behind story, an underdog, if you will, to a degree.
See, the thing is, though, when you're watching soccer, with the exception of maybe like two teams, when we're talking the Premier League, or maybe three teams currently, when you're talking underdog story, you may talk about a mid-table team that may never find success at all. And your biggest goal of the season is to just stay in the Premier League. Don't get relegated, right? You could pick a team that's maybe lower on the table and they're fighting from relegation and trying to stay in the Premier League, and that could mean something, but you also run the risk of not being a Premier League fan for too long, and hopefully you stick with them. Underdog story could be the team that's in fifth or fourth that's looking to make a push for a league trophy eventually. And right now, when we're looking at the Premier League table, we have three teams tied on 43 points right now, 5 points behind Liverpool, which is the league leaders. So, you've got a tight race at the top of the table where any of those teams, I would say that if you started to like one of those four teams, you'd be a bandwagon fan. So we're probably going to keep you away from Manchester City. Would you want a team that kind of like is similar to being like a Philadelphia team, or do you want a little more success? Maybe a little more success,
and I'll put this out there. Obviously, with Matt, and it's made its way to Sarah. Obviously, being in their absolute endless love and marriage, that she is also a Liverpool fan. I'll always have a soft spot for them, very much like you do with Arsenal, but Milan is your squad. But I also, just from friends on the social medias, I can already eliminate one team for you, Dom. Ain't no way in hell I'm rooting for Everton.
I respect it. And you know what?
I see way too much.
I don't blame you. It's okay.
Just too much agony and pain, and I deal with enough of that already.
Yeah. Plus, with all the issues going on with their bookkeeping and financial records and everything, like I wouldn't.
I'm trying to run a successful company for us. I don't need any of that black cloud hanging over us.
Don't get that type of energy. So how much do you put history into account for your team?
I value the history of a team. I wouldn't say that a team's history determines how I feel about them. For an example, if you know me, I feel the Eagles Kelly Green era is completely overrated.
Yeah.
And I think that was the ultimate downfall of the Philadelphia Eagles this year, as they broke out the Kelly Green jerseys, and look what happened.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate history and
Okay.
what it means to get you to where you are present day.
All right. So I just realized instead of waffling and just asking you random questions that I'm thinking that I totally didn't prepare for, I did a quick little search. I'm on the Washington Post. Okay. The Premier League quiz. Which Premier League team should you root for? Okay. What I think we're going to do is we're going to try a couple different websites, depending on the length of them. This way we can kind of solidify it. And then we can kind of maybe if we get different teams based off of the criteria of the answers, we can kind of whittle it down from there. So,
and if we get multiple teams, we should do like a, how kids have like college signing day. We should have me sitting at a table.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll leave this with a cliffhanger.
Yeah. All right, so we won't determine it on the episode.
All right.
Here,
so this one is 8 questions. Okay. Question 1 of 8. Which style of play would you be most attracted to? Would you want your team to patiently build up the play in order to find their goal scoring opportunities? Do you want your team to make quick plays on the counter and defend really well? Would you want something that's a mix of both? You believe in adaptability, or do you not care the type of soccer that your team plays?
I need a little of both. I need some adaptability, being able to adjust and, acclimate yourself to who your opponent is.
Okay. What is your ideal club size? Do you want a big, powerful club that can bring in superstars with the money that they have? Do you want a mid-sized club that's not too big but not too small, so they got a decent amount of money? And there's always that hope, right? Do you want an underdog small club with some charm? It's kind of a cheeky team, the hipster team that like Matt and I talk about a lot. Or do you not care?
You know what? Let's roll the dice. I don't really care.
Ooh, okay. So they give like little comments after you pick it. It's very condescending. So for the first one, they said, perfect. Why choose one? And you said, I don't care. And they just said, okay, with a period. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Question 3 of 8. What nationality would you want your owner to be? British, American, neither, or you don't care?
I'm going to roll with I don't care. I'm open to
just be open,
and all opportunities.
They said, okay, again. Let's move on to the things that really matter. What's your favorite color, Kyle?
Oh.
And does your team need to be your favorite color?
Not necessarily. I have
what is your favorite color?
It depends on the day of the week, but it rotates between a nice like neon lime green, and I have become very fond of the color purple.
Okay, so I'll say none of these. Okay, because they said blue, red, old classic claret, and blue. Okay, so that's quite a few teams. So I'll say none of these. Good choice. There are teams with classic black and white kits, and some, such as Wolves, wear gold. Yeah, so got some other teams in there. You're not going to kind of pigeonhole yourself into specific teams, right? Question 5 of 8. English teams have nicknames for their supporters. What would you prefer to be called? Some kind of animal, something that sounds tough. I'm a kind spirit. Give me something that's not so menacing. Just keep it simple. Use the color of our jersey, or you don't care.
I'm impartial. Don't really care.
Oh, man, Kyle.
I know.
Okay.
I'm keeping it open.
It says, let's see how you're doing so far. Based on your selections, here are your 4 finalists. Okay. Your 4 finalists are Newcastle, Fulham, Wolves, and Liverpool. So let's get a little more specific. All right. Question 6 of 8. You want to support people you identify with. Pick a player you most identify with. A Brazilian who is an excellent passer but turns aggressive when trying to steal the ball. A striker who is so confident he wears an eye patch on his head, ready to pull it down when he celebrates his goals. A Gabonese player with obvious talent who struggled to find his place but is now a solid starter. A flashy forward who can give you classy goals and electric runs and has an iconic hairdo. Or do you not care? I feel like this one you can't say I don't care. Like I feel like this one you have to identify with one of these. The thing I like the most is like I can think of each player that this is talking about, and you kind of don't know. So I really, really like this part.
I think the most fun description was the eye patch.
I knew you were gonna go there. All
And
right.
I kind of feel like a pirate on a pirate ship trying to get my crew together here. So
All right, I can kind of see where the first team is going to be. So let's see. Here we go. Okay. Music and chants are very important for you for the identity of the club. What do you prefer to sing in the stadium? Now, I have a question, Kyle. If I share my screen, would you be able to hear the audio I'm about to play?
I'm not sure if it'll come through unless we put it in the studio.
Okay, never mind. I'm going to give you the titles.
Okay.
Okay. And you are going to just pick based off of that. Going Home, theme of the local hero. Payadio, Hi Ho Silver Lining, and You'll Never Walk Alone.
Well, being that I know what the last one is.
Okay, so we're
for
going to
obvious
eliminate that
reasons,
one.
Well, I'll keep that one off the table.
Huh.
The first one feels too England World Cup team, and they never bring it home.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want to get behind the team that absolutely snips your hopes when it matters most. What were the other two again?
Payadio and Hi Ho Silver Lining.
I'm going to go Silver Lining.
Okay, Kyle. Oh, that would get me hyped up. I'm listening to him right now. Yeah, I think you picked the right one.
And for everybody at home who doesn't know, like, I'm an Eagles and Phillies fan, obviously, and both of those teams have famous songs or chants with Fly Eagles Fly and High Hopes.
Yeah.
Songs are important.
It's
more American sports teams need songs.
You picked a good one, Kyle. All right, so the final tiebreaker. Pick your favorite hairstyle. Okay, so there is one. This is for the listeners also at home. So there's one. It's kind of like a medium towards longer, kind of straighter hairstyle. It's kind of going down to the sides. It's slightly over the ears. Kind of parts in the front to the side, little flick down. Looks like they have a little goatee mustache combo. Okay. There's kind of like not a messy afro, but like kind of just there. Right. There is a shaved sides and a little heavier on the top, but it's like more brown on the shaved sides, but it's more blonde on top. And then there's like a crazy curly afro, like more kind of like out, up, and to the sides, and then a full beard. Or do you not care?
I don't really care.
Okay. All right, Kyle. So the first of three clubs is Fulham.
Okay.
And it says, you got the right club. If you're an American who love the Royals, Fulham is the poshest London neighborhood. Its stadium, Craven Cottage, includes the oldest stand in all of professional football. Ooh. And they dress in elegant black and white fashion with touches of red. I can't lie. Their colors are clean. Sometimes they have some really nice jerseys. At the same time, its owners are trying to make full America happen. And they've been bringing U.S. players to the team for years, Kyle. This season, U.S. men's national team Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson are the American representatives. They also are famously known for having Clint Dempsey on their team for the longest time. One of the most successful Americans, statistically, in the Premier League. So Fulham is one of your first choices. Now we're going to go to proprofs.com. Okay. 14 questions. Which Premier League team should I support? If there are similar questions, we already know the answer. Okay. So, this one's a little more straight up. Okay. So who's your favorite soccer player? Cristiano Ronaldo, Alfredo Di Stefano, Dwayne Johnson, John Terry, or Fernando Torres?
Ooh. just for the hilarity of it, and when you said Dwayne Johnson, I just
Okay.
immediately thought of The Rock.
Okay, so we're picking Dwayne Johnson. What do you look for in a football player? Skills, strategy, never give up attitude, records, or speed?
Never give up attitude.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Pick your best ability. Speed, strength, presence of mind, agility, strategic mind.
Strategic mind.
All right. There we go. How do you feel about local rivalries? The fiercer, the better. I enjoy them as long as they don't turn violent. I don't really mind. I'd prefer to avoid them.
Don't want anyone getting hurt, so we'll go with the second option. Love a
I
good
enjoy
rivalry.
them, but as long as they don't turn violent. I thought being, from Vineland, the Vineland-Millville rivalry, being a Philadelphia sports fan, yeah, I thought you'd like
I love a good rivalry.
the fiercer, the better, man.
I don't root for injuries, but
Okay, so let's just hope they don't get violent. Is it important that your team has a history of success? I'm just going to ask you this straight up. Is it important that your team has a history of success? We kind of talked about it, right? Like, you're not opposed to it, so it's like somewhat important, right?
Yeah.
It's not very, but it's somewhat important.
Right.
How important is winning?
I'd say it's pretty important.
Okay. I will only support a team in a position to win in the not too distant future, or I'd like a team that may be in a position to challenge in the not too distant future. You said you like an underdog story, right? So you'd like a team more that challenged instead of
challenge.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's earn, not given.
If you ever visit the UK, how would you prefer to experience it? You'd prefer to stick to London. You prefer to stick to the big cities. You want to avoid the big cities. You prefer to avoid London. You don't intend to visit the UK. I'd plan around my team.
I'd do all the big cities.
Okay. Not just London. But
yeah, gotta make the best of the visitation.
What matters most in a team? The reputation, the players, name, history, or records?
Run that back again for me.
It's reputation, players, name, history, or records.
I'm going to say reputation.
Okay. How would you feel if your favorite team loses a match?
I'd be pretty bummed.
I would not tolerate this.
Yeah, we don't tolerate losing pretty well in this house.
Okay. Would you like a club that is well liked by neutral supporters?
Yeah.
Very much, or sure, why not?
Sure, why not? It's fun to have the people jumping on board with you.
If you were to play for your favorite team, which position would you choose? Center back, striker, winger, fullback?
Ooh. Let's go winger.
Okay, a little crafty. Pick your favorite football stadium. Wembley, Camp Nou, Allianz Arena, Santiago Bernabeu, Old Trafford.
Can you run those again?
Wembley, Camp Nou, Allianz Arena, Santiago Bernabeu, or Old Trafford.
Historically, I'll go Wembley.
Okay, fair enough. Pick your favorite manager. Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, Jurgen Klopp, Arsene Wenger.
I'll go Klopp.
Okay. We are almost done. Last question. Which team's jersey do you like the most? Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Man.
Just based off of which team do you like jersey the most?
I'll give Liverpool the nod.
Okay. Your results. Here we go. Liverpool. Okay, so Liverpool is one of your other choices now. All right, last quiz. Here we go. So that one wasn't too good, but at least we now have one of the big teams. This is BuzzFeed, okay? BuzzFeed has great quizzes. All right. So you said when it comes to winning, right? You like a team with winning history, but they don't have to win every year, right? Or would you rather like a team that's always in it, even if they don't win the whole thing?
Ooh.
Or
Yeah.
would you rather just have a great fan base?
Give me a team that's in it every year. Be in the mix. Because then
Even
it
if they
gives
don't
you
win.
you get an opportunity to win. Even if they
Yeah.
don't, like you're still there.
Okay.
You're in the conversation.
All right, just solely like try to. I know that you probably know some of these nicknames, but try to just keep that out of your mind.
True.
Which nickname do you like the most? The Citizens, the Red Devils, the Reds, the Toffees, the Gunners, the Blues, the Spurs, the Villains.
I mean, the Villains is pretty badass.
All right, I can get behind that one. How would you describe the people you surround yourself with? Passionate, nice, confident, rich.
Say passionate.
Okay. Which animal best matches your personality? A Tasmanian devil, a fish, an elephant, any dinosaur.
For
large group.
for the swimming background, I'll go fish.
Fish. All right, cool. Pick a game day snack. Popcorn, cheese, chicken, pork.
You got to get your popcorn ready.
Okay. Okay. How long does it take you to reply to a friend? Pretty quickly, within a minute, not as fast as I would like. My friend texted me.
Pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty good with your texting. How would your friends describe you? The class clown, the vocal leader, the loving one, the quiet one.
Probably say the vocal leader.
Okay. Pick the TV sitcom you like the most. Friends, Seinfeld, Modern Family, The Simpsons.
Ooh. I'm going to go Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. What's the deal with airplane food?
Jerry.
Where's your favorite kind of place to live? City, small town, suburbs, big city?
Suburbs.
Choose a color. So it's sort of like more of like a crimson red with some yellow as an accent. You've got like a royal blue with a yellow accent. You've got sky blue with a white or even lighter blue accent. You've got a deeper red. It's kind of in between like a darker red and the crimson red with like a teal accent. Dark red with white accent. White with a navy accent. Like pure royal blue with white accent. Or like the claret maroon with like that light blue accent.
Let's go with the red with the teal.
Okay. Kyle, as much as you hate to believe it, as much as you want to distance yourself from it, you got Liverpool again.
Oh man.
Now, do you really want to do it? Do you want to jump in?
I still think we need more data, being that 2 out of the 3 ended up with the same.
Yeah, like I want to find one that gives you like a chance of all of them, because like I'm looking at these and I can tell like you can manufacture your way to the proper team that you want, right? Like I want something that is like really good. Like I want a very Okay, here we go. Let's try this one. We are on allthetests.com. This is a personality test. Let's go. Okay, it's 10 questions. Historically, how good have your current favorite sports teams been? Trash, like Cleveland's Brown trash, but I'd still be a diehard fan. We win championships every like 50 years. Pretty up and down. We're usually competing for championships. I only like rooting for really good teams.
And it's at recent history?
Yes. No, it says historically. Historically, how good have your teams been? We win championships every like 50 years. Or it's either that or are we pretty up and down?
We're pretty up and down, I'd say.
Yeah, like we're in a good form of Philadelphia sports right now. Like
I know.
we lose it. We're competing for championships, but like we're losing them.
Yeah.
Like
in the same day.
Up and down. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Right. How do you decide who to root for? Your local teams? Sometimes your local team, but a team that you like growing up. Who your favorite players play for, or the best?
Usually the local teams.
In what kind of style do you like your team to play? Boring, conservative, whatever. I just want them to win. I don't hate low-scoring games, but I prefer not to root for the most boring team. I like teams that are most entertaining to watch.
Give me that entertainment, baby.
All right.
Not to pause the quiz here, but we do have some people chiming in on the live stream. We got some of your fans.
Oh, KM, my guy, what's good?
And then we got our boy Sean Munoz, shout to the Pack Street Boys, asking the origins of the podcast name.
Wait, can I first say, Kyle, that did you just decide to like whip this new feature out for me? Like
they're chiming in. They're chiming in.
That's crazy. This is the first time we've had comments. Dude, Sean, what's good? I've been meaning to ask, what does top bins mean? Top bins is like when you score an absolute banger of a goal. It's gotta have pace, and it's gotta go in one of the top corners of the net. So the closer to like the 90-degree angle that you can get it, the better. That's basically top bins. If you smack something top bins, you hit a nice goal. It's moving pretty fast. Maybe it's got some curve, maybe it doesn't, but it goes in the upper 90s.
There it is. The origin of the name.
Yep. Top bins, baby. How important is a strong fan base to you? No support, a ton of support. I don't really care. I prefer not to be watching a game in an empty stadium. I love my teams to have the best fans in the sport.
Yeah, we gotta have that elite fan base.
Yeah,
you know us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna give you 4 athletes.
Okay.
Pick your favorite.
Okay.
Anton Jameson.
That's a blast from the past.
Derrick Rose, Bryce Harper, Tom Brady. I've never even heard of Anton Jameson.
I gotta go Bryce. That's hilarious, though.
Dude, Anton Jameson, that's a crazy pull.
That's a crazy pull.
Pick the team you hate the most. New England Patriots, the Dallas Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks. I don't hate any of them. I'm not even going to ask you that one. So between the Patriots and the Cowboys.
It's got to be the Cowboys.
Pick the team you hate the most. Now we're talking basketball.
Okay.
Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, New York Knicks. I just hate super teams. I don't hate any of these teams.
For the experiment, I'm going to say the Knicks. But I really don't hate any of them, but I just don't like New York having success in sports.
Okay, so New York Knicks. Pick your favorite player from among these. Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Wilfred Zaha. I don't know any of these guys.
Ooh. I do know 3 of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Harry Kane.
Great answer there. How do you care about your team having a history? No. Or do you care about your team having a history? No, not as long as we're good now. It's important, I guess, but not something I care about. Yes, I prefer to support a team with lots of winning history.
I'll go with the middle answer there.
Yeah. How much do you like soccer? I love it. It's one of my favorite sports. I like it. I want to get into it more. It's not my favorite sport, but if a game with teams I've heard of is on TV, I'll watch. I just watch the World Cup.
I'll go with the second one.
I like it. Want to get into it more. Fair play. Test results. Here we go. Grrr. And your choice is Everton. So we have our top 3 teams now for Kyle to choose from. We have Fulham, which honestly, Kyle, I would not be mad. I could respect that one. Liverpool. I get it. I mean, I get it. And Everton.
I don't get how hating the Cowboys then aligns with Everton, but
This is what it said. It said it's important to win, and you want to support teams that are winning more than they're losing.
well, here's the thing:
You'll
Everton
still
doesn't
stick by
fucking win.
You'll still. Not too long ago, they were a mid-table or
They were
upper third table team. You'll still stick by the team regardless, though. You don't really care how your team looks or plays. You could be the most boring team to watch, but as long as you're getting results, it's good enough. Everton facts. Their rivalry with Liverpool is among the most heated and notable in all of soccer. Despite the rivalry, they rarely finish above Liverpool in the final table. They normally settle for 7th through 10th. Now they're fighting relegation. Former home of U.S. goalkeeper Tim Howard and U.S. starlet Landon Donovan at one time. They have won 9 domestic titles, but the most recent was in 1987. They're not very
Dallas Cowboys shit right
but
there.
they're not egotistical. No, Kyle. No. Manchester United have not won the league in years, and their fans are extremely egotistical. Arsenal even longer. I will say that. If you wanted a Dallas Cowboys comparison in the Premier League, it's the team I have on my chest right now. That's I hate to say it, but it's true. So I think 36 minutes of quizzing you on this. We have produced 3 results.
And you know what I'm going to do too, based off to give us even more fun for the eventual exercise. I'm going to add 2 teams just off of logo to our list.
Okay.
I'm going to add Crystal Palace.
Fair. Okay.
And I'm going to add Newcastle.
Okay.
Just for the aesthetic feature of their logos. Not saying that they have any boost or detraction in the eventual pick.
So that brings our choices up to 5.
Yeah, so
now, Kyle,
we have a final 5.
Nah, you're a 5-star recruit. Everybody's wanting you. All right, so I'm going to put in 2 more and bring this up to 7. Okay? So I like the way these teams play. They're not your go-to big 5 or top 6 teams that you were always looking at, but they've got some very exciting players. One team in particular is playing out of their mind this year, and it's nice to see them having this type of success. The other one was this type of team a year or 2 ago. Okay, so Aston Villa and Brighton. Okay,
I was looking at them too on the aesthetics. So
Aston Villa and Brighton. I'm gonna also put those as the last 2 hats on the table. You're sitting there, you got 7 in front of you, and you got to make that decision. So just to review, okay, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, Crystal Palace, and Everton. Those are the 7 teams that Kyle gets to choose from, and we will announce this next pod.
Let's have some build up. Let's go down the line.
Okay.
Think of, let's see, because obviously you don't. These lifelong fans don't want somebody who's getting recruited to their squad to jump in right now. They want me to kind of scout the teams, kind of get a vibe a little bit.
Fair enough.
What would be the ideal benchmark date in your?
You got to be able to watch a couple games, right? You got to watch some highlights, so you got to have enough time. Let's say a month from now, end of February.
End of February, that could work.
Because you know what? Right at that point, now we're getting into the thick of the season. We've got about 4 or 5 more weeks of games. There's about 11 games left in the season, I'm pretty sure. Right, we've played about 21 games. There's about 30-something games in a season. So I think after 4 or 5 games, you'd be able to find a team that you can kind of root for or kind of just start supporting. Especially if you want a team that's a little more competitive, right, closer to the top of the table, or if you see a team that you'd like the way they play, you kind of vibe with the players and stuff. I think a month's time you'll be able to kind of focus and figure out what you want. How's that sound?
We could, let's say in a month we'll narrow it down to our final four.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out a date to proceed to get that final pick in with the final four hats on the table.
That is fine. I am okay with that.
So there it is.
Yeah, just a kind of overview of the previous matches that have kind of gone on in the Premier League as well. Brighton tied with Wolves on the 22nd on Monday, 0-0. Liverpool beat Bournemouth 4-0. I watched that game. Liverpool absolutely manhandled them, but that's kind of to be expected. West Ham tied with Sheffield. Look at Sheffield getting some points. I like that. That was a 2-2 draw. Brentford beating Nottingham Forest. Ivan Toney with a little cheeky return by moving the ball way off the mark that the referee wanted the ball for the free kick, and he scored it around the wall. Shithousery at its finest. Arsenal shelled Crystal Palace 5-0. Big win for them. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. That was the previous week. We talked about that on the last show. That was 2-2. So, we've got some games coming up on the 30th. Nothing really crazy. Fulham plays Everton. So, that's
big. That's
a big one for you.
Big points there for both squads to sway and make your pitch.
You know what other game is that day? Aston Villa and Newcastle. So so there's some games for you that are popping off. Crystal Palace plays Sheffield. Brighton plays Luton. So basically most of your teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of your 7 teams play on January 30th. That's next Tuesday.
Day one of recruiting day.
I
have a funny Luton Town story too.
Liverpool plays Chelsea that following Wednesday. So got some stuff coming up. The table, Liverpool, 48 points, top of the table. They have a 5-point lead on second, third, and fourth, which is City, Arsenal, and Villa, all just separated by a goal differential.
Was that expected this year for them? Because it
Aston
felt
Villa?
like for Liverpool. Because it felt like last year was kind of like for them, a down year.
I think there were some questions just because of the team that they've kind of assembled, and the front three kind of has been disassembled, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have Firmino, you have Salah, but you don't have Mane anymore, and you're kind of feeling things out and figuring out what works. I mean, Mane was at Bayern last year, so they're kind of getting along with some of that. The growing pains happen and stuff like that, but I don't think that it was completely unexpected for them to be in first. I mean, right now, the fan base and the club itself, they kind of expect to be in contention for the top spot, playing for a Premier League title. That's like their goal every year. So I don't want to say no. I mean, Matt is a very big pessimist, but he keeps his expectations low because he doesn't want to get hurt. So he would tell you that he wasn't expecting this and that he's excited, but he also wouldn't want to talk about it because he doesn't want to jinx it.
It is very funny to me, too, because obviously talking to our guy Pat Pitts every day, a Boston Red Sox fan, same ownership group and everything, he constantly tells me, you got to tell Matt to tell fucking John Henry, start sending some of that Liverpool money over to the Red Sox so we can get back to prominence.
Yeah, they got to generate it themselves. Tottenham in 5th, 40 points. And then West Ham in 6th with 35. Other notables, Manchester United, 1 point above Chelsea in the table for 8th and 9th place, respectively. I absolutely love seeing that, and we will always say that on the show. We stand a unsuccessful Manchester United, and we stand an unsuccessful Chelsea FC. Newcastle right behind Chelsea in 10th with 29, tied with Wolves. Your Fulham, well, potentially your Fulham in 13th with 24. The relegation also looks like Luton in 18th with 16, Burnley with 12, and Sheffield dead last with 10 points. So that is the Premier League. What is your Luton Town story?
Yeah. So when it was in May, DJ was here because we were here for the college lacrosse Final Four at the Link, and in between doing some filming and everything. We went to Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. There were these two guys just standing up at the bar, not even sitting, just standing in front of the chairs that were there, watching the Luton Town game, and lost their absolute minds when they won that game, because that's when they got promoted to the Premier League.
You got to respect it. You got to respect
insane.
it, man. I love that.
Everything else on the TVs was the college lacrosse stuff, and there were some other things going on. And then these two dudes
it's just two of them too. There's not anybody else
to one small TV behind the bar at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly, watching.
That's so cool. Town.
It was so funny to watch.
That's
I was
awesome.
Like, damn, good for them.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I respect that. Excuse me.
Burnley is the team that Malcolm Jenkins and J.J. Watt invested in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another thing. You could get behind a team based off of the investors. Right? I think Leeds has Russell Westbrook as a partial investor. LeBron James, obviously, with Liverpool. So, yeah, that could be another way to get behind something.
Whenever J.J. Watt's making appearances now on like podcasts and like shows and everything, he's always got a Burnley hat on.
Shout out Burnley. Wanted to talk about the AC Milan versus Udinese game this past weekend. Milan won 3-2. It looked like the wheels were going to start falling off when they went down 2-1, but they didn't give up. They ended up scoring 2 goals, one by Luka Jovic in the 83rd minute and one by Noah Okafor to get the game winner in the 93rd minute, third minute of extra time. Milan looked pretty good. They were decent. They didn't give up. They started the game off real strong. That goal by Ruben Loftus-Cheek was really nice. Man of the match performance. But the game was also suspended for about 15 minutes or so because Mike Maignan, when Milan were up by a goal, was starting to deal with racist chants coming from the crowd. He wanted to stop the game. The ref was trying to get to the bottom of it, and the Milan players, in solidarity with Mike, all walked off the field and into the locker room. Just very, on brand for Italy, which is a shame. And very ironic as well that it's coming from the Udinese fans, because that's a club that kind of prides itself on diversity. They're a team that always has different players from African countries, different black players on the team. And it's just kind of weird that they'll support them, but then also when another team comes, their go-to is to chant racist chants at them. So that is not a good look for Udinese. I hope that some sort of penalty gets put in place. I don't know what the Italian FA will do, if they even do anything, because it always seems like they do something, but it's to no avail. I want some sanctions put on them, something. Don't let the fans come back for the whole season. Make them learn a lesson. Like, there's got to be some sort of severe.
I was gonna say, like, that is one of those things that, like, if you want things to come to a halt, make it so that they come to a halt. Yeah,
it's a shame. And Milan were up a goal, and they come back and they came out a little flat, and they go down 2 goals. It was kind of frustrating. One of the goals was kind of stupid. It's one of those goals that everybody complains about in FIFA, where like 2 players kind of get messed up on the ball and nobody like responds to the ball, and the other team's player kind of just runs through and picks the ball up and scores. There's miscommunication with the defense, just ugly. It is what it is. I do think though that they handled it well, and they ended up, getting contributions from the bench, which was big. So I was happy to see that. I do, however, want to give one player his flowers today, and that is a player by the name of Yassine Adli. He is 23 years old. He's a center mid for Milan. He's French. He was bought from Bordeaux a couple seasons ago, and he is an extremely promising young talent, but didn't get a lot of playing time over the last few years. Basically was told that he wasn't even in the manager's plans for the near future. And he was really only played this season out of necessity for squad depth with some injuries to notable midfielders like Ismail Benacer, Rade Krunic, and he's even gone now, and others. And Adley has just stepped up and has just absolutely put in man of the match performances. He scored a goal 2 weeks ago. It was an incredible highlight goal. He's been one of the best in the league in progressive passes, key progressive passes, total passes, like all these different passing metrics. He is first or second in the league since he started playing at a more consistent basis with Milan, and he deserves every little bit of it. One thing that the club has been missing is a player that plays for the badge, plays for the badge only. And he's one of those types of players. He loves AC Milan. And the only reason he's still at the club is because he loves the club so much. And because of that, you could see how the players, how his teammates react to his success, right? Everybody knows he's a baller. And it's about time that he's come out and been that baller. Everybody used to say that Sandro Tonali was Milan's next Pirlo. Nah, this guy is. This guy, he's not the best defensively. He can get a little job done. He'll track back. But this man picks a pass like none other. He is the guy that will set the rest of the team up. And since he's come into this lineup, they've had a resurgence. They've looked great. And really, it's honestly making me think that Milan needs to reconsider the type of money that they could get for Ismail Benacer, because he deals with injury issues, and who knows if he comes back from AFCON healthy. And that's a big if. And if you're putting all your eggs in one basket with Benacer and he's injured again, like he hasn't played a game for Milan in 60 games. 60. That's over a season's worth of games. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And he's supposed to be our top midfielder. If Adley just continues to be really, really good, I think that he can take Benacer's place. Milan can cash in on him and use that money elsewhere where they need to supplement or get like a big player. They still need like that number one striker option. They're looking at some guys, but like that's where the money can go. Giroud, although he has a flair for the dramatic, he can get an assist, he can get a goal, especially when people are being real critical of him. You still can't put all your faith in him. Okafor and Jovic are coming around, but you can't really have your faith in them being the main guy until they start, becoming a lot more consistent. Milan is a club that signs big players. That is what they've been for the last 20 years. That's what they want to continue to be. That's what they were when they won 3 Champions Leagues in the Arrigo Sacchi era. They've always signed big name guys, and they've always been at the pinnacle of European soccer. And it's about time that they get back to that. I think that people respect the team again. And they're a team that deserves respect. I mean, they were in Champions League semifinal last year. So they're a team that you need to take serious, and they need a serious striker up front. So if they could get that money elsewhere from other players that they don't really need because other guys have come around. I mean, you also got Yunus Musa still on the bench, who is being used more out wide on the right, but where he really shines is in the midfield. And if you can get him in there as a rotation player now, because you don't have to worry about also getting Benacer playing time, it's going to be beautiful. I think that they need a right back as well, so that money could be used there. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Adley real quick. He is so good. He is so good. And there's a reason why people have related him to Zidane, not just because he's French, but because of the way he plays. Give him a look if you haven't checked this player out. He's a baller. He's up next. He's 23 years old. He's young. And he hasn't hit his prime yet. And if he continues to play this way for Milan, watch out.
And it's one of those things, like, I could be speaking completely out of turn being a novice fan of European soccer, but like looking at the table right now, if you're able to pull off some of those transactions and open up some money and be able to bring in a top flight player, like Milan's only 7 points out of the top spot in the table. And sure, Juventus and Inter are having fantastic season so far, but like, is that out of the question to still be in the mix?
No, because you bring up something that I saw on Twitter I think maybe today. But with Milan's remaining schedule, okay, I'll tell you this right now. They play Bologna, Frosinone, Napoli, Monza, Atalanta, uh, Lazio, Empoli, Hellas Verona, Fiorentina, Lecce, Sassuolo, Inter, Juventus, Genoa. We're getting into May, Cagliari. So we do have some games, but they have a big chunk of time up until those like big games where they really only play Napoli. Like Bologna is a better team in the league, but I think that Milan can get that win. But they play Frosinone, Monza. They should get their revenge against Atalanta. Lazio is resurging, but they can definitely beat them. Empoli, Hellas Verona, Fiorentina, Lecce, Sassuolo. Like these are all games that Milan can definitely win. And if Inter and Juventus kind of like fumble the bag for a few weeks, Milan can kind of sneak their way back into this. 7 points off the top is still something that can be overcome. And it would make my year just so great if they could pull that off, man. But
because I mean, also looking at the table too behind the top three, like
there's
it
nobody
is a
there.
Drastic drop off.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like a 2-horse race with Milan kind of just waiting. It's like that game of Mario Kart where you're in third, you really don't think that you have a chance to catch up to the two people in the lead, but then one of them puts out a banana and you have a rocket, or like you have a shell. Mm-hmm. So the one gets the banana and then you hit the shell on the other one and you get in first, right? That's potentially what could happen. And the cards have to, the stars have to align correctly. You know, the river has to hit. But if it happens, I'm painting Philadelphia red and black, dude. I'm going nuts.
It's like that meme of all the guys lined up in the church with the guns behind their heads, and then there's just the sniper in the roof.
Yeah, just waiting. And that's potentially what happens. And you make a really good point talking about the points on the table. It's really just like the drop off to fourth is crazy. I mean, teams,
and I feel like that's got to feel good for Milan
teams
too.
Fourth through about ninth are basically playing for that fourth place spot. They're playing to get into the Champions League. Basically, mm-hmm. There's not much catching up that can be done to catch up to Milan with 9 points between third and fourth.
And that's got to feel good for Milan too, yeah. From a sense of there's no real pressure behind you.
All the pressure is just trying to keep up with the other two teams.
And you're kind of like the scrappy like team trying to mess with the two teams who are having these out-of-pocket phenomenal years so far and trying to spoil what they've done to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
being a success spoiler while you're also in a success path is one of the most fun things that can happen in any sport.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting. What's really all conducive of this success is what they do in the last week of the transfer window, mm-hmm. right? The transfers in the winter end January 31st. So that's going to be a crazy day. I mean, Milan have been linked with a couple people. This one player from the Primera Liga, which I think the Primera Liga is the Argentinian league. They are interested in Federico Redondo, who is the son of former top midfielder Fernando Redondo. Or maybe he plays, let's see. They're interested in a couple other people. But Federico, I think, is a forward. That's kind of where Milan is really looking for. They're looking to get a striker. There's some other players that they could look for at striker. Basically, their options are like Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna. He is one of the hottest strikers in Serie A right now. He is so good. Jonathan David from Lille, who I would not be opposed to. I'm a fan of him. I think he's a good player, but he's kind of not lived up to some of his hype. Victor Gyökeres from Sporting, who made a move from Coventry, I think. He's coming off of a really good season. He's a product of Brighton's youth. He went to Coventry. He had a really, really electric season. But he's kind of expensive. He has a €100 million release clause. Serhu Guirassy, who is the Stuttgart striker. He's had a breakout season in Germany. And then the Leipzig striker, Benjamin Sesko. I really don't know much about him. Vangelis Pavlidis had a great season for AZ Alkmaar last year, or AZ. He's a top striker in the Netherlands. And then there have been rumblings, which, it's just a rumor mill. Who knows? But basically, Kylian Mbappe. But that's not going to happen.
You will be there.
I mean, he's a Milanista. He's come out and said that he's like grown up watching AC Milan and stuff like that. Where like maybe if he does make that move, but what Milan have to do is basically show like they have a project in hand. They have players that are coming in. Like they have some big name players. Like it would be crazy to see Rafael Leao play with Mbappe up top, and then just like Christian Pulisic is kind of just there. He's just like, hey, like I'm here with everybody. But like they've got some top players. I mean, like they have Theo Hernandez, who is a Frenchman. They have Adli, who is a Frenchman. So that would be pretty cool. Like if he was able to come in. I know there's some other like English players that like were linked. And I don't remember them off the top of my head, but like basically like if they could get like a right back and a striker, and if the striker could be a serious guy, I mean, who knows? Like the Mbappe stuff is kind of weird. It's just like weird. It doesn't look realistic. I don't know, but yeah, that's basically what Milan is looking to do.
I did bookmark this tweet from last week that I meant to send to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Fabrizio Romano.
My boy, yeah.
Tweeted on January 15th. Apologies if I butcher the name here, but Bruno Guimaraes,
yeah.
He tweeted that he was in Paris on the 15th, but just for a personal trip. Brazilian midfielder enjoying free day with his friends and family. No correlation with Paris Saint-Germain interest. No January move expected, as he's now untouchable for Newcastle. And Twitter user at Kagiago_ quote tweeted that tweet and said, "Did this motherfucker just announce a holiday?" To which then Kagiago_ quote tweeted himself and said, "Bro, what?" Fabrizio Romano blocked him on Twitter.
Of course he did. Of course. What is that kind of news? Like, what are we doing? Like,
that's like the Dove climate.
Well, no, this is the thing is like he has to do this because that's the state of like soccer fandom in Europe. Like, I see it all the time. Like most notably, like we're talking the Jadon Sancho situation, even though that's a little more blown out. But like, I see tweets. Like I saw one last week. Somebody said like, "Dog, you're a professional footballer. Like, I don't want to see you post, pictures of your night out. Or like, why are you even going out? You need to be focused on the next game. Like, we haven't won." It was a Manchester United fan. It had to be. But like really freaking out over the fact that like a player was trying to be out and enjoy their life a little bit.
Those people would have aneurysms watching the Phillies.
Yeah, dude. Like what? Thank God James Harden isn't a soccer player. Like what? But it's crazy the level like that they expect from their players. So like Fabrizio Romano has to report holidays. It's crazy.
So funny that he blocked him for asking that.
Kyle, you said you had a question for me at the end of the main pod.
So we talked Lil Wayne a little bit on the main pod, and we've talked about Lil Wayne previously when I filled in here as the GOAT. But Dom, you know what I'm appreciating so much recently, that an artist of our generation is finally getting their flowers and has kind of been treated as almost the Nickelback of hip hop, R&B, and kind of like the butt of a joke. But people are realizing how talented this man is.
Who?
The man T-Pain.
Uh,
And I know you appreciate T-Pain.
I love me some T-Pain.
Just as much as I do.
Love me some T-Pain.
It is a beautiful thing seeing how many people, since T-Pain has put out his acoustic covers albums, have just truly started to recognize how talented of an artist and a vocalist T-Pain is, and not just the auto-tune joke.
Oh, love me some T-Pain. T-Pain is an incredible rapper on top of that. Let me just say that.
Did you see the ultimate compliment he got from his new On Top of the Covers live performance?
What?
Ozzy Osbourne said that T-Pain's cover of War Pigs is the greatest cover of that song ever.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Like, that's
cross genre. That's incredible. Yeah, that's
amazing.
I love that. Listen, I will say this. T-Pain was my ringtone when I was younger, man. This guy has been around, and he is legit just a great artist, a great musician, because not only can he sing, not only can he rap, he like kind of has like total like control over the production of his music as well. Like he is just a very, very talented artist. It's my guy.
I mean, what year was it? It was 2000. I want to say.
Are you talking about a specific album or song? Because I have Apple Music up right now, so I can tell you when an album came out. If you have a song name.
It was the 2008 BET Awards.
Uh-huh.
T-Pain was nominated for every song in the best collaboration category at the BET Awards. For Good Life with Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
Was nominated for the Viewer's Choice Award for Kiss Kiss with Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Was nominated for Video of the Year for Good Life with Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
Nominated for Best Collaboration on Low with Flo Rida.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss Kiss Best Collaboration nominee in 2008. And then ran it back in 2009, Viewer's Choice with Lil Wayne, Can't Believe It. Won Best Collaboration in 2009 for Blame It with Jamie Foxx. And was nominated for Best Male R&B Artist in 2009, nominated as well. That was just the BET Awards.
You know how like in the mid 2010s and like now, like if like you want to have a song that goes like viral and pops, like you get Drake and you put him as a feature. In the 2000s and early 2010s, that was T-Pain. Like if you wanted your song to just be fire, get T-Pain, whether it's a hook, whether it's a verse, whatever it was, like get T-Pain on the song. He is going to absolutely pop off. Not to mention, you know, his album that came out in 2007, his sophomore album, which had songs like Bartender, Tipsy, Buy You a Drink,
Got Money,
but
come
on, dude. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Dude,
crazy.
And let's not forget the critically acclaimed and absolute banger, I'm on a Boat with the Lonely Island.
We cannot forget that one. We literally cannot forget that.
That was like, what is happening?
I know the word. I still know all the words.
That song was an absolute heater.
Yeah. Get the fuck up. This boat is real. Yeah, dude. That's a great song.
Seeing T-Pain just get like all this love now, and like there was a video he posted on his social media. He's in Australia right now for his tour, and he was talking about how he's learned like local sayings and everything everywhere when he's been on that side of the world. And he was like, I think I nailed my Australian accent. And he goes, I'm gonna lay it down right here for you. And he just goes, fucking cunt. And then it goes into Good Life.
Kyle.
Quote. That was a quote.
Kyle Bennett. Actually, you know what though? In Australia, like it's a very widely used word. It's a very widely used word. It's not as taboo as it is here.
But then it drops into Good Life, and everyone loses their minds.
I love T-Pain. No, listen, I have a.
He's also performing this
Oh
weekend
no!
at halftime of the Ravens-Chiefs game in Baltimore.
Come on now. Come on now. T-Pain in a fur jacket. Come on, let me see that.
It's gonna be unreal.
All right, so I asked you a question on the pod. Right, I put this out on Twitter. I said, "Give me a Lil Wayne song, and I will rate it." Let me do that with T-Pain. Give me a T-Pain song. I will rate it.
That's a good one.
TikTok, Kyle. There's a lot of dead space going on right now.
Thank goodness for the back end of editing. Let's go with 07 to 09 era, Chopped and Screwed.
Chopped and Screwed.
Featuring Ludacris.
What is this? What is this from? Is from his first album?
It's from the Three Rings era.
Is it? Hold on, I'm trying to look it up because I don't remember this one. I have to listen to it. Oh, okay. Hold on.
The lead single was "Can't Believe It" with Lil Wayne.
So you said Chopped and Screwed?
Yes.
Right. I'm on Three Rings right now. Expanded edition. I'm just gonna look it up. What'd you say the name of the song was again?
Chopped and then the letter N and then Screwed. SKREWED.
Oh, there it is. Why didn't I see it? Okay, hold on. I gotta listen to this real quick. Okay. As soon as I hear the chords, I'm just like, all right, now I know exactly what song you're talking about. That song is so fire, dude. This song is so fire.
So good.
What's sad is that, like, I know the song more than the name. Yeah. And the only reason is because there's other artists that have remixed this and sampled this. And it's just such a good song. I will give this it's hard for me to not give any type of T-Pain album song anything less than a 9 out of 10. This is a 10. This is a 10 out of 10.
And dude, you know what's going to be amazing? Because Usher is the Super Bowl halftime performance this year. You already know T-Pain is coming through.
Yeah, probably. T-Pain will pop out. T-Pain at the Super Bowl?
Know.
Why not?
I got two. So good.
I got two other ones for you. Okay, number one is a classic. T-Pain's debut single. I guess we can consider it a deep cut now because he's just made so much music, and when people do think T-Pain, they also kind of think of like his features more than his actual songs. But if you remember the song "I'm Sprung," it's incredible. It's such a feel good song. I love when that song comes on. If I'm out at a bar and the DJ plays it, I'm so happy. And then, but on a more deeper note, off of his sophomore album, Epiphany, track 2, Church, is fire. I was trying to enjoy my time that you came in. I didn't turn into a rude dude. And why you gotta fuck up the night now? We got the fight. I'm gonna knock out your lights. That's a fire song.
So
dude.
good.
I used to skateboard to that song.
And dude, T-Pain has gotten so versatile where like he's streaming on Twitch and like putting other artists on. Like,
I listened to the Lopriori podcast, and Michael Lopriori got signed to Nappy Boy Gaming just because T-Pain liked his streams.
My boy Trek Manifest, shout out, good personal friend, is in the rap and hip hop game. T-Pain was doing a stream where like people were just submitting links to their music and everything.
Yeah.
Played Trek's song. It was like, this motherfucker got it. Like, to have T-Pain say that about your music is next level.
I think T-Pain, like, I don't have any like proof of this or anything, but like I highly feel like he's like a consultant nowadays for a lot of artists, for a lot of record labels or a lot of producers or something like this. Like, yo, we got this song working. What do you think? Like, he's definitely got some type of consulting job on top of, touring and making his own music and things like that. But like, I think that T-Pain understands the music industry very well.
he understands just the media landscape too.
Yeah.
Like, he was on The Masked Singer. He made appearances on like the Eric Andre show, like all these like animated shows. I mean, you had T-Pain on Bar Rescue as a guest appearance. Like, he was on.
Next thing, diners, drive-ins, and dives. I can't wait to see Guy Fieri and T-Pain.
He was Stevie Wonder in Epic Rap Battles of History.
That's a pull from the past, dude. That's a pull from the past. That YouTube series, Kyle. You are incredible with the reference.
He was on the Cleveland Show, the spinoff of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like, so many different episodes of like awesome TV. Like, he's he's the musical guest on SNL. Like, he's done so much.
Well, get in with that conversation. We've kind of gone away from the soccer for the last, 15 minutes or so, but that's always fun. We love riffing on top bins. When KB's here, you know the deal. Make it happen. We're riffing. If you want more of that, follow us. Follow us on Twitter at FC Top Bins. You can follow me at Harry8FUT. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of this music stuff too. So if you want to follow along, talk to me there. Talk to me about EAFC, and then also talk to me about real world soccer. And then go follow Kyle at KBIZZL311 KBizzle. Go to phiapparel.com or .co. Use the code underground for 10% off. Shout out to all the sponsors of the network. You guys make it happen. We love you all. And shout out to the fans, the listeners. I know some people that listen to the show live, the people that commented. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, plus you guys have been on the Apple Podcast chart for almost 2 months in Greece.
Come on now.
Top 200
Come
podcasts.
on now. If I knew some type of Greek superlative, I would say it, but I don't. Opa. Let me go throw a plate on the ground or something like that real quick. Yeah. Shout out to all the Greeks.
You guys peaked on the Greek soccer charts at number 26.
Stop it. Top 30?
Top 30, and you've literally been entrenched on the Greek soccer charts for almost 2 months.
Listen, you may have to fly out to Greece. Say what's up. What's going on, guys? You know what? I will say this though. The Greek professional league, crazy atmosphere. The fans out there, insane. Like you got a little Panathinaikos Olympiacos derby going on, bro. That thing, one side is green flares, green smoke all up in the air. The other side, red smoke from the red flares. Just absolutely incredible atmosphere. They're so loud, so passionate. Shout out to the Greeks, man. Shout out. Kyle, do you have anything to say before we're all done?
You hit it. Subscribe. Keep subscribing to this show. I know
the YouTube channel, yes.
The YouTube channel as well. YouTube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia.
TikTok.
Got some big things coming. TikTok,
YouTube,
Instagram.
Shorts. Come on now.
All that good stuff is coming. It's been fun watching you guys do the Blindly Ranks. We're going to integrate that across the board for all of our shows. And, there's a lot of integration on our network from the European sports world of soccer. We've got F1, the golf world. Like, we got a little triad of European sports going on. So if you like Top Bins and you need more fix of different European sports, check out F1 Underground. Most followed social media account in our company is their Threads account. They have over 4,000 followers over on Threads.
Dang.
Absolutely dominating over there.
Dang. Let's go.
Get in the hole. If you're a golf fan, go follow them. They're doing fantastic work. Got some fun stuff going on in the city on Friday for that show. So stay tuned for that. And, subscribe to all of our shows. We're just an independent media company out here providing fan analysis at a professional level for the people and just trying to make this our full-time jobs.
Yeah, and it's not like we're rookies at this shit either. We've been doing this for some years. So share it with anybody who you think would be interested in listening to this. Whether just show them the network, because they'll find something that they like. So with that being said, I'm not used to hosting, but for KB and myself, Dom Pont, whatever you want to call me, a Harry 8, whatever you want to call me. This has been Top Bins on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Network, and we will see you next week. Peace.